Hi everyone, let's build a Warmoth Tele. In this segment we'll be installing the bridge and bridge pickup. First you want to make sure to align the holes where the strings will come through the body before you begin to install the screws. For pickups we'll be using the Fender Vintage Original. These are the same pickups out of the American Vintage Reissue 52 Tele. Doesn't say it specifically on the box, but when you look at the back of the pickups, you can see here it just says 52. So if you're looking for these pickups online and you're getting thrown off by that name, don't worry, they're the same pickups. Take a look at the bridge pickup here. You can see the ground for the copper-plated steel backplate on the Tele bridge pickup. Gives it its characteristic twangy sound. On vintage style Teles, that steel plate is actually what grounds the bridge through the pickup screws. We'll be using that same method in this build as well. Test fitted in the bridge here. We're using a Fender Hot Rod Tele bridge. It's a vintage style bridge with intonatable saddles. Of course, this method is going to work the same for any vintage style bridge that you might choose. Here you can see the pickup screws for both the bridge and neck pickup, as well as the pieces of surgical tubing that will be used to support the pickup in the pickup cavities. We use the surgical tubing instead of springs because springs are microphonic and could be a source of squealing played with distortion or at high volumes. So we'll put the screws in first, put on the surgical tubing with a little twist, kind of holds the screws in place. We'll carefully make sort of an ice cream sandwich here. You're squeezing it, but you're not really squeezing it. You know, you don't want to try and squeeze the heck out of it. You don't want the insides coming out. You just want to hold it together. Grab the screwdriver, make sure our alignment is still good. You'll be able to see the screws when they're lined up correctly here, and if your finger is behind it, you'll be able to feel them as they start to poke through. You can know that you're well aligned and not wasting your effort spinning your wheels. These are flathead screws, vintage correct. I'm using a slotted flathead. Not something you need to use, it's just what I had available. It does the job. If I was doing this for somebody else's guitar, I'd probably go out and find the correct tool, but I had this right at hand, and it's for me. I know I'm not going to be able to do it fine. I'm going to go ahead and braid the pickup wire here. This is going to help us get the wires threaded in to the cavity, but more than cosmetic and ease of installation, it actually provides some shielding here. You'll notice that the ground lead is longer than the hot lead, so you're primarily wrapping the ground around the hot. The ground lead is the black one. Once that's done, we'll go ahead and feed it over into the control cavity. Be gentle here, we don't want to pull the wires out. Carefully align the bridge again. Even though the bridge holes are already drilled and located, it's theoretically possible you could install the bridge slightly crooked at first. It'll tend to want to put itself in the right place, but you'd be surprised. You can get it a little ways off, and it'll, if you have a finished body especially, it'll dent the finish, and you might be able to see it in certain lights, so that's why you want to be just fairly careful here. Start the bridge screws off straight by hand. Now, while this notched flathead worked just fine for the pickup, it's not going to do it for us putting these screws in, so I'm going to get a more substantial screwdriver. This bit isn't perfect, but it's going to work fine for me. of people recommend using paraffin wax on these screws to put them into the body. These screws are going in just fine and not really fighting me, so I didn't see any need to. Plus, I'm fresh out of paraffin wax. You don't want to screw down one screw at a time. You want to get them all fairly tight and then tighten them the rest of the way down. Or you make sure you have even pressure across the plate. You're not warping it or putting any sort of weird strain on there. You can see the bridge plate is laying nice and flat on the body. We're all set. Up next, we're going to be installing the neck pickup. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of the day.